Hello everyone, I am ESV.Iakona, and this is my 7th video log. It's been a while since I did my last one. There's been a lot of changes. I'm going to start with teams first though. So Team Liquid announced that King Caffeine, Biceps, and Dunk Train actually left the team. And shortly after that, it was announced that they actually be joining Cloud9 and the new roster of Cloud9 Maelstrom. Cloud9, the team that won BlizzCon, actually split their roster in half. So they became Maelstrom and Vortex. So on Maelstrom you have Dunk Train, Biceps, King Caffeine, Zuna, and Kenma. And then on Vortex you have iDream, Bobby Hankhill, Gente, Rajar, and a mystery player. So it'll be interesting to see who turns out to actually be their mystery 5th player. Other changes, actually been a patch recently. The Jaina patch came out on Tuesday, I believe. There's been a lot of changes in it, and I just wanted to go over some of them. Not all of them actually have been documented, and people have just been kind of finding them out on their own, and I just wanted to go over some of those, especially since not everyone might be aware of them. A lot of active abilities kind of got changed. The biggest change is that minimap casting is back. A while back they made it so you can't actually cast Clairvoyance or Mule, that kind of stuff on the minimap, but they added it back this patch. As a support player who often takes those talents, I actually really like this change, and it's just kind of a better improvement. I feel they should be casted on there. Other changes, Healing Ward actually is now very easy to kill. Originally only 3 skills in the game, I believe, were able to kill it, and now every skill and every hero skills can kill it. So you can't really aggressively place those things or like sit on top of them and body block them like people were doing before. So it's kind of a nerf, and you're going to see less of Healing Wards taken, and instead you might see Protective Shield taken a lot more on those heroes. Other changes, Promote actually got changed as well. Instead of lasting forever, it only lasts for 15 seconds. So they reduced the cooldown on this skill to 30 seconds, but basically Promote only lasts for 15 seconds. So what that means is you can't just promote catapults in your core, let them push all the way down. Instead, you actually have to be in the lane with the minions that you promoted and pushing with them. So it kind of doesn't allow for the split pushing that you used to be able to do. It's still kind of a good talent, but I don't think it's going to see much play that much anymore. A talent that actually kind of got buffed though is Rewind. Originally, Rewind had a 60-second cooldown and reduced all your basic abilities by 10 seconds. Instead, they make it instantly refresh all your basic cooldowns, but by doing that, they actually increase the cooldown to 90 seconds in total. I think that's still an overall, for certain heroes at least, is a buff. Those heroes that I think benefit best from it are Falstad and Brightwing, because they both had pretty good skills that had cooldowns that are longer than 10 seconds. Brightwing Polymorph, you can instantly polymorph 2 people, you can chain it off of them. Falstad, you can use your barrel twice, you can throw your hammering, like there's a lot, or you can static charge. There's a lot of things that, a lot of benefits to those 2 heroes especially. As for heroes, there have actually been some changes as well. The most obvious change is that Jaina actually was released. Overall thoughts on her, she's a really good assassin. She has high damage, but she is kind of squishy, almost like a Nova. I think she's a little bit stronger than Nova, or a little bit tankier than Nova, but she's still really squishy. Her ultimate heroics though, you have 2 of them. You have Ring of Frost and you have Water Elemental. I think Water Elemental at this point in time is the stronger one, because you can just summon it on someone, and since it applies chills, it slows the target every auto attack. You can permanently like zone like a assassin out of the fight. You can put it on a tank that's onto you, so you can out-kite them. I think it's kind of what an Ultralisk should be doing, but this one you can do it because you can actually retarget it and you can kind of control the minion, which is why I think it's a lot better than Ultralisk. Her other one, Ring of Frost, is good because it's still good, like a 3-second snare. It's just a little bit harder to use, and you also have to be able to have a team that can capitalize off of it, like having a Nazebo get some good damage in there, or setting up for a good APOC, something like that you can capitalize off of it. But I think it's still good ult, just not what people are going to be using right now. Other changes, Tacidar's talents got changed. They nerfed a lot of his damage talents, like Second Strike and Static Charge. So lowered his damage overall. I think he's still pretty good, but he's not a complete replacement for an assassin like he used to be. That being said, with him getting nerfed, that means Tychus, since he did not get touched in the patch, is going to be God tier. First pick, first ban kind of material. They didn't touch Arthas that much either. They increased the cooldown, or mana cost of his Frozen Tempest a little bit, but he's still very strong. So I think Arthas and Tychus are going to be 2 of the main ones. Abathur also got a slight nerf, with Promote being nerfed, as well as his ultimate cooldown doesn't start going until his clone is dead, but all that does is really delay the time, the 15-minute clock to like a 20-minute clock, but he's still really good on himself. Other changes that just kind of general ones, Dragonshire actually had the bottom Giants camp turn into bottom Knights, which means that you can't go and bribe it down there easily. Takes a little bit more resources to commit to it, and it's also not as good. Like, those bottom Giants are really good. You just take them, you get an instant free tower. There was nothing you could really do to stop that. So it's kind of a good change. It took away that camp that I thought was pretty powerful, made it less powerful. I think it's a good change overall for that map. Another change they actually did to structures, and originally all the XP was stacked onto the fort. And what they did is they took that and spread it between the fort and the towers. So a tower is now worth a fifth of a fort, and a fort is worth 2/5 of a fort. Like the old fort, that is. What that means is a lot of the early game pushing is actually going to be better now. Like, tri-lanes are going to be a lot more common, since if you get towers off of that, it actually can get you an XP lead we can start snowballing off of. Early Dragon Knight and early Terror are also pretty good, because you can just get those towers, get some XP advantage off there. Counteract that kind of, though, like, because that's kind of emphasizing the early game. They made the core shield stronger. Originally they were somewhere between 20-25%. Now they're a strict 50% that they're doing. So it makes it so you can't really like backdoor as easily or kind of win in early game. It'll drag the game out a little bit to the late game, so it kind of counteracts the structure XP redistribution, which benefit more in early game. So there's also some other changes, like the tribute algorithm for Cursed Hollow actually got modified a little bit as well. I put a Reddit post covered in my video, but basically the first tribute of the game has to spawn in the middle column now. All the other rules are still in effect for like the second and all the other tributes. There's also some other minor changes here and there as well, but those are kind of the big changes I felt are the ones that are important enough to talk about. Hope you guys enjoyed me going over the patch notes, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time.